How you doing, troops? It's Brian here at the YTCSC. Just wanted to get our Thursday morning update out to you early doors. I hope you have all well and seen Mark's updates over the past couple of days. The big meeting on Monday that was everybody thought that the club was going to be listening to the fans, etc. And it turns out that it went down like a lead balloon. You know, they said, oh, everything's okay here, nothing to worry about, and all good. And then some of the guys that were there, like Paul John Axom, said that like he has no faith, no confidence in the board to run a successful football club. So yeah, so bit of a shambles. I just wanted to come on to this morning to discuss a report that came out yesterday from a guy called Kieran Maguire, kind of respected kind of financial journalist, who mentioned that the Celtic are nowhere near the UEFA sustainability rules, which they cited in their first long drawn out statement about why the transfer window ended up the way it did. So from that, the meeting, these guys have not got a clue. These guys have not got a clue. So so let's get into this morning's video and discuss Kieran's report. So thanks very much to everybody for your continued support. As always, if you could do the usual like, share and subscribe, all that great stuff to help us get picked up with YouTube's algorithm, and also to help us grow. We're past 1,500 now, so we're motoring towards 1888. That'll be the next target for us. So thanks very much for everyone. The usual suspects know who yous are, and any new subscribers, much love. Thank you very much for the support. I just wanted to come on just with my two bob on a report that came out yesterday. I got it through 67 Hail Hail, I think it was, and it was about the claims made by the board in the first long drawn out word salad statement after the disaster of the summer 25 transfer window. I won't bore you all again by going back over that, but one of the main things that they mentioned was Celtic's model is not just what they like to do. It is imperative to get to stay within UEFA sustainability rules, and we get that. You know, we saw what happens when clubs spend out with their means. They end up getting liquidated and having to start again in the third division. Now, UEFA's rules state that clubs can spend 70% of revenue and player sale profits on player wages and amortization. So 70% can be reinvested back into the players. Essentially, they can't spend everything on the playing squad, but can spend 70% of it. Right? Now, the statement that the club came out with at the start of September, when the transfer window actually slammed shut, basically said the club's model is not optional, it's now essential as a consequence of the UEFA sustainability regulations in which the club must comply. Wages and transfer spending are strictly governed by UEFA's regulations, which effectively caps wages and transfer spending as a proportion of our revenues. Importantly, the club's cash reserves are not relevant to the assessment of this de facto spending cap for the purposes of UEFA regulations. So, what does that mean? Like, kind of, where are we in relation to the UEFA spending cap? Remember, you can spend up to 70% of the turnover. So I'll pop up a little graphic here, and it basically shows the the percentage of player wages and amortisation against player sales and profits, right? Now, of the SPL teams, as you can see from the graphic, Celtic are second bottom. We've spent 46% of player wages and amortisation. The highest is Hibs at 68%, so they're on that threshold. Then it's Hearts, then it's Rangers, Ross County, St Johnstone, Motherwell, St Mirren, Kilmarnock, Celtic and Aberdeen. So I understand Hibs and Hearts at that end are different budgets, but they're still spending the money. They're still trying to push as much of their revenue onto their player squad as possible. Celtic down at 46% means, as Kieran says in his graphic, that Celtic could have spent about £30 million more to be closer to that UEFA sustainability regulations. So think about that, £30 million extra we could have spent. We have made £40 million profit last financial year. We have £77 million in the bank, and we also have a player trading model that means that we always get money back from players that we buy, right? So if you look at that and what's transpired since the meetings, oh, we're doing our very best. No, the club are we haven't stagnated, whatever. They're absolutely gaslighting the fans. They're just like, yeah, we know best. Don't look over here. But there are smart people out there across the Celtic fan base, guys out there that cover Scottish football, who will just come out and just call them a liar or show them that they're not accurate. So, like, where does this leave us as a club? Where does this leave us as a fan base? The board and Chris Mackay and Michael Nicholson have sat down with the fans collective, which on paper we thought it was a decent gesture and they were going to, listen to the fans, but from the statements that came out, the conflicting statements, the club are saying, oh yeah, well, mistakes have been made, but no any clarity or plan on what they're going to do to fix those mistakes. And then the contrasting views from the fans collective and guys at Axom and the other guys that were on there saying, these guys have not got a clue. So what are you meant to do? I know Mark touched on yesterday's video about, what do you do with these people? Like, how do you force them out? But it just goes to show you that they're treating the Celtic fans for mugs with the poor uptake of the UEFA Europa League tickets and the £45 for a ticket, no concession. If I want to take my boy, that's 90 brick, and then whatever you're spending on food, etc. And no investment getting back. There's been a couple of videos made about the state of Parkhead. I know Axom touched on it yesterday, and Celtic World Order went round the stadium and had a look, like old treble banners and all that. They're absolutely ripping it. They're squeezing as much profit out of the fans as possible and not giving it as much back. And then you can see from the playing squad, it gets tired, it gets old, and it gets jaded very, very quickly. So we have the money. We're nowhere near UEFA sustainability regulations. So why are we not spending this money? Why are we not giving the manager the backing that he needs? It's a head scratcher, an absolute head scratcher. So I'd love some comments on this. I'd love some feedback on what do you think we should do, where we are in terms of the UEFA sustainability regulations, and also what's going to happen come January. Is it going to be a mad panic buy just to show that they are spending money and making sure everything's okay, or is it going to be, Brendan's not going to renew his contract, so we'll get loan deals just to kick the can down the road until we need a new manager? Not good at all, man. It's a total transition season. I think it could end up unraveling if we don't get it right. So yeah, just wanted to kind of put that out there and see what everybody thought. So yeah, so thanks again, as always, YTCSE family. Thank you for your support. If you could help us out by liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next one. Hail, hail.